it just bothers me that access to clean water and sanitation around the world, there's still a problem. Why is that, Tim?
There's 2.4 billion people
That's
aren't
a
using
lot.
a toilet today. This is a human issue.
Welcome again to another episode of our 2021 Founders and Shakers show, where we interview founders, shakers, and people that are really shaking the world. My name is Jeffry Esmeralda, founder of humanityshield.com. And today our special guest is a co-founder of H2O for All. Has a mission to provide clean water and sanitation to developing areas around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tim Muttoo. Hello, Tim. So it's already 2021, and I know we have so much advanced technology already today, and it just bothers me that even today we still haven't solved the problem that seems to be basic, but apparently it's not. Access to clean water and sanitation around the world, there's still a problem. Why is that, Tim?
So, I'm a technology guy. I'm an engineer, and I've invented technology that's being used around the world presently. And I love technology. I love the idea of it. I like the advancement of technology. I was watching the Mars rover a few days ago when it landed on Mars. I have my eyes on what's going on in the electric vehicle conversation. There's a lot of things that are happening now with energy, and again, those are great things about technology. But when we talk about the issues of water and sanitation, it really is a human issue. It's an issue that we're talking about human beings that need to be addressed, right? And when we talk about this issue of water and sanitation, just for context, and I'm careful to not throw around statistics, but we're right now, Jeffrey, around 7.7 billion people on the planet,
Right.
right? And we're just a little shy of that. When we talk about access to clean and safe water, water that's not going to give you disease or transmit disease, we're almost coming up to a billion people. We're
Wow.
talking about a billion people don't have access. And when we use that word access, that's the ability for them within a certain range of their, where they live,
Sure.
probably a kilometer in a certain amount of time that they can access it, right? Secondly, sanitation. It's a strange thing, maybe in our culture, that we talk about using the toilet or dealing with our human waste. But this is the reality of 7.7 billion people. Is we need to start talking about these things.
Sure.
There's 2.4 billion people. Hard to believe that aren't
That's
using
a
a
lot.
toilet. Aren't
That's a
using
lot.
a toilet today.
Mm.
And this should really make you think and say, well, uh, from my position, right? I have a toilet, I have a sink, and these things. Why is it, as you mentioned, an issue that's still going on today across the world,
Hmm.
right? And when I think about, all of the time I've spent in my life of working with people groups and working in rural areas, I think it really comes down to the understanding that this is a human issue. And when you understand that it's a human issue, then you need to understand the human being.
Mm.
And when you understand the human being, then you can relate it to, what is it when you sit down with an individual who's maybe a woman that is living in a rural area? What's her story
Hmm.
from a day to day basis, right? What's her story as a woman who has to walk, a couple hours each day to get water? What's her story when she has to get the firewood and she has to do all of the raising of the children?
Hmm.
What's her story? What's the story that 80% of all people that have to walk and get the water are women, are girls and women, because they are deemed those people because of their gender. What's
Hmm.
that part of it, right? So when you talk about the issues of water, what it does is, if I think about my day, right, when I woke up today, maybe about 6ish, 7 a.m., in most countries that don't have access to clean water, they're up at 4 a.m. They're walking to get
4
their
a.m.
water. They're bringing back water to their home. You know, they don't have a toilet facility in their home, so they're using the toilet somewhere, right? So, you know, there's that issue. They're spending their time doing things that we can say, you know, could be a better use.
Hmm.
So when we're trying to address these issues of water and sanitation, we need to really understand it from a person point of view, right?
Sure.
And as an engineer and as a person that creates technology, input of data or the assessment of data to then create the technology or create a solution is the way to do it. What I believe is happening is we aren't taking that data. We aren't spending that time holistically to say, well, let's understand the plight of the people that are representing those 1 billion people and those 2 billion people, and take that data and those life experiences and those cultural experiences and those gender experiences and be able to put them in some type of a way to assess on how we can make decisions,
Hmm.
right? So when we talk about making decisions, we need to make decisions with the best amount of information.
Sure.
So when I started to do work with H2O for All, I started to go into these rural communities. And I'm a people person, I'm a conversationalist. I love being around people. And I just
I can see
found
that.
it to be one of the most exciting things to sit down with people from other languages, cultures, genders, life experiences, people that I haven't been in war, I haven't been abducted. There's so many things that in the stories and the people I've met to listen to them. And they would say to me, Tim, you're one of the first people that's even asked me in this conversation what I think.
Wow.
And they would say, why do you value me? And I again come back to this idea that we need to look at it from a human issue. We need to give dignity back to women,
Hmm.
dignity back to girls. We need to look at, amplify their voices, and to make sure that they are part of this. And the struggle with technology is we're on a tangent of creating so much technology, but
Hmm.
we also need to say, well, we need to deal with the fundamental issues of humanity, which are
Correct. Yeah.
getting access to clean water and getting access to proper sanitation. And the only way we're going to do that is by spending time with the people that are affected. If we aren't including the people that we're trying to reach in the conversation,
Hmm.
then I think there's a problem. If there's not representation, I believe representation matters,
Absolutely.
right? So if there's not representation in what we're doing with the public's money, then I think that's a problem. So, you know, I believe there is a push and pull of technology. Yeah, we're going to Mars. Yeah, there's electric
Yeah.
vehicles. Yeah, we're doing so many things, but that's for a certain small segment of the world. And we need to say, well, if the 7.7 billion people, if we look at it from a holistic point of view, if we can get these people living in poverty, living a better life,
Hmm.
we can get these girls who are spending most of their days collecting water to become educated. We can get these voices of people to develop skills and to create their own jobs and create some of that. Then we're going to see humanity push forward. So we think
Faster.
about the issues of disease. We
Hmm.
think about the issues of political issues. There's people sitting in mud huts right now or in impoverished communities that maybe they could be the next person that solves our bigger issues that this mankind is facing. But
Absolutely.
we've chosen to keep them poor. We've chosen not to include them in the conversation, and it's an issue because we said you're poor, you're illiterate, you're a woman, you're a girl, you are not going to come to this table to talk about this issue because I have a degree, I have a master's of public health, and my voice matters more than you. And that is incorrect. We need to make sure that when we talk about these issues, we are including the people, most of all, that are living the issues. And I've seen it
Wow.
time and time again. This is the reason why I started H2O for All, is that I believe in inclusion. I believe in including the people that need to be included and giving their voices to the table so that they can say, Tim, AIDS Tool for All, they're never, they're not going to talk to our donors. They're not going to talk to maybe your audience here, Jeffrey, but they can talk through our charity, and they can talk to us in this conversation. So that's, I get a little passionate about, but that's kind of where we're at. If we're going to affect change, we really need to get real and say, well, maybe we did things wrong for the last 50 years. Maybe we made assumptions, right? I've seen around the world where people take technology that we're using right here, Jeffrey, in Canada, and we're saying, well, if it works for me, then I'm going to fly it down to Haiti, or I'm going to fly it down to an impoverished community, and it's going to work. But they don't assess there's no electricity. They don't assess that these individuals don't know how to use it. They don't assess that there's no spare parts within any vicinity. And, time and time again, because of that, then there's those issues of taking those leaps forward. So again, this push and pull of technology, I believe in technology advancement. I'm in it. I'm involved in it, and I will jump and get a smile on my face when we land on Mars, and we see those advancements. But my heart breaks because we haven't taken the time to address these important human issues of giving dignity back. Imagine an elderly woman that we work with, has to go to a bush to use a bathroom to defecate. There's issues of dignity that we need to look at. There's issues of gender that we need to look at. And there's issues to say, I care about you, right? I care about you. And I believe, and I'll say this just to close this thing, is that there's no difference between me, you, Jeffrey, and a person that's living in poverty. There's absolutely no difference, right? I might have more opportunity. I might be living a life of more privilege. I might be more educated, but there's absolutely no difference, right? We are the same people. We have the same heart. We have our same heart for children and for our families. And that's what really has changed my life, is when I surround myself with people that are highly intelligent, highly capable, but they need opportunity. They need to be given those skills and ability, those doors and windows of opportunity that we have here where we're sitting, right?
Wow, I love the holistic approach that you're taking on this. What you said is just really bringing these people in a conversation, and not just bringing them, but actually talking to them and letting speak and be heard about what their story is, and just really not just hearing it, but actually taking action from what they're saying and making it happen. So I'm not sure if it's a money issue, or is it a political issue, or educational issue, or a cultural issue, but it looks like it's everything.
And I, as a lot of leaders are maybe looking at this, and people are looking at it, I believe it's a leadership issue. So it happens, whoever's running these organizations, or at some level, elevated level, then those ideas and those thoughts need to be changed, right? Those ideas of making sure that people are included, or those voices are heard, or in the decision making, those people are relevant, then it has to do from the leadership. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a bottom-up approach. It needs to also be a top-down approach, where we were kind of meeting in this realm of both, that we're getting information. Again, information is important. Dealing with information, how to assess it, how to contextualize it, how to take that information and to turn it into something that can become change. Those are important. When you talked about money, over the last 50 years, 60 years, people have given a lot of money to people like me, or people who are running charities. And they again say this, they say, well, why aren't these issues being changed? I don't believe it's a money issue. I don't. I believe it's an issue that more is saying, well, what are you going to do with the money that has been given by the public, and how are you going to use it on a sustainable long-term play? If I gave everyone who's watching this $100 and I said, take that $100 right now and think of somebody that you want to help, not just giving them the money, but on a long term of how you can see them from where they are in their life now to where they are in a year to maybe where they are in 5 years, and take that $100 in and look at it in a way that's going to create that line of change, right? And I think that's kind of where we need to look and have in our mind that this is a journey. I'm on a journey. You're on a journey. People watching on a journey, but these people are on a journey. So, taking that $100 needs to be more than just saying, "Here's $100. Hope something happens with it. All the best." It really is saying, "Well, let's think this through. Let's think about culture. Let's think about geography. Let's think about political issues, political climate. Let's think about gender. Let's think about all of these things, access issues, all of these things, and do that, and make the wisest decision we can make with the dollars that we're given." And that's what my challenge is to people, especially in leadership.
Yeah, I think we should just really talk more about this and keep it a heated conversation and make it louder. But yeah, let's help H2O for all. Let's help Tim Muttoo. Tim, if people want to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
I'd love for anyone who wants to contact me. You can do it through our website, h2oforall.org. There's a contact link there. You can hit me up on LinkedIn if you're on LinkedIn, and you can find me there. But I'd love if you want to connect with me, learn about what we're doing, and share some of these stories of doing this together, right? And this is a story about how to do this together, right? And the more we can do things together, we're going to affect a lot of positive change.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tim. Let us know, guys, what you think about this message. Please message us, contact Tim. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Tim. Really appreciate it. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.